Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Tuesday. It is February 7th. This will be our chart lesson for today, and I'm going to start the day a little bit differently today. Um, I've got a little bit of a sad heart today. I found out that a friend of mine in the trading world has passed away, and so I just wanted to maybe make mention of it. I've been doing this a long time, and I've really met a lot of people from all around the world doing this. And that's one of the joys I get out of this is the people that I meet, the friends that I've made along the way. And I really have made some really good friends. A lot of them I've never met. Uh, and this gentleman was one of those people. I never met him face to face, but I talked to him almost daily by email. We carried on a lot of conversations, and we just had a lot of good times. And he seems like I felt like he was a friend of mine that I've known forever. But he recently, I sent him a couple of emails lately, and I hadn't heard from him, and didn't think much about it. I just figured, hey, he's busy, he'll get back to me. But I got an email yesterday from somebody else that knows him and told me that he passed away suddenly about a week ago. So you never know when you're going to lose somebody, and but I wanted to just mention him today and dedicate. I'm not going to say his full name because I don't know if his family would want me to. But his name was Ray, and Ray, this chart lesson's in your honor today, and you'll be sorely missed, my friend. And yeah, I'm a little bummed about it. So, but anyway, I wanted to make mention of him, and if any of you know him out there, you might. He was a great guy, and I feel for his family, and he'll be sorely missed. And I know I'll see him again one day in another life. But anyway, let's move on to our chart lesson. But today is dedicated to my good friend Ray. So, but in the end, today was just a range day. You can see the highs. We couldn't get above 22.94. The lows, we couldn't get below 22.85 or so. And I actually had somebody send me an email today. He says, I never quite understand what you mean when you say today was just a range day in the end. And when I say a range day, this is not a trending day. Prices aren't trending. They're in a range. They're in a range between 22.94 and 22.85. And generally what happens is when prices reach the upper side of the range, they turn down. When they reach the lower side of the range, they turn up. And prices just tend to stay between there. You take a trend day, yesterday was kind of one, two. This is what a trend day looks like. It just keeps trending and going higher. Notice that prices aren't really stuck in between they just keep trending higher. So that's the difference between a trend day and a range day. And you need to be able to recognize that. It's very important. So if that doesn't make sense, go back and watch that until it does. But you need to know because we trade them differently. Today the range is big enough to where you do get a trend, a short-term trend within the range, but the rules don't always play out perfectly within a range for the trends because if you like here, we did make a new high here after a break of the trend line, but sometimes you won't get a new high because you can't get above the range level. Notice we did push above it. We never could get above that level again the rest of the day. And notice this is your overnight low. This is your overnight high. And we really traded between that all day long. So that's a range day. So I hope if that doesn't make sense, study that some more. Back your video up and watch it a few times till it does make sense. So not a lot of trades today. It was a pretty quiet day. There were a couple of these shorts that were really good. But outside of that, it just was a really quiet day. Not a whole lot going on. So. But let's back out. We'll talk about the trades, and I'm going to wrap today up pretty good, or pretty quickly. But yeah, you can see us moving up here. We had an overshoot, and there's two measured legs down. You got a break with that overshoot. Usually you get a break soon thereafter. It came almost immediately on the same move. Notice there is a little bit of a trend working down there. We get a close outside move to a new low, and it bounces. This is real close to being blue. It is two legs. If you look, there's a leg here, then a correction, then another leg. It's basically two measured legs. This is a fairly bullish bar. It's not a second entry. It's really just honestly, you could really count this as a there's a second entry here, so you could count this as a third entry, or really, because there's some matching highs here, you could treat that like a new high and a first entry. On a bigger picture, you probably would see a second entry here. Pull back first entry, pull back second entry, and really you could count that as a new high as well, so you still could count it as a second entry. But the key is it's two measured legs down, no matter how you do it. And this is your real signal bar. It's not a real good one. It's more of a doji, more bearish than it is. But this one's got the same low. It's fairly bullish. And you can treat that like a failed break lower below all those matching lows there too. So there's a couple different reasons to like that one. It's real borderline to be in blue. You could almost make this one blue. I wouldn't be afraid to make it blue. But it's just right there on the borderline. So I made it green just because for some people that would be a little bit aggressive because they wouldn't see all that stuff I talked about. You need to have a little bit of experience with price action to see all that. So your better trade is to wait on the reversal pattern. Notice we push up, first entry short, second entry short, fails. We're back inside that range. We are a little bit close to the high, but on a trend that's been working that high, we're probably going to get a new high. I like that one. Look how bullish that is. Just go long right there on the stop. And that was a quick, easy move. And then we just start kind of going sideways. But notice here, this pattern is almost a perfect repeat of this pattern. And it's the little failed break lower. It's the two measured legs. It's got the same little, I mean, it's a perfect, it's basically a repeat pattern. Just go long right there. I thought we'd probably make another new high. We'd make a second leg up, but we couldn't get back through the upper resistance, and still easy scalp. And then notice what happens here. You made this high. You come back, you get your first test, you get your double test here, fairly bearish bar. You're generally better to wait on the second, a lower high off this high or a double top like this with a better signal bar. But it fits the double test rule. So you might consider going short there. You got to consider that you're real close to these lows too. So you need room to get out. That's the other reason. So I made that one green. But then you get that lower high or the double top, which is the same thing. And look how bearish that is. I like that one. Just go short. And that one takes off. So what they probably did, you had a lot of people that thought they caught a short trap there and went long. And you just can't go long into that kind of resistance on when we've already had a new high after a break of a trend line. So by sitting tight and being patient, you get a really good setup. And if you caught this, you caught a major high of the day. And it was all downhill for a couple of hours here. And you could have ridden this all the way down, or at least get ridden down this first leg. And once you get that first leg down, measure that. And when you head lower again, look for a possible measured move. And you can see we went a little further than that. We bounced right there at it first, but we ended up pushing a little bit lower again. But that was a nice move down, and then we start correcting. And if you were smart, you probably drew this line and drug it up. And so you're looking for something to turn down right in here. But notice you got a little trend line working up. You get a break, and you get two legs up. And look at that bearish. It actually went higher first. And again, they trapped people to the long side. And big bearish bar. Just go short right there. And I wouldn't be afraid to enter here. I don't know if I would add on when this didn't take off. But when you got another bearish bar like that, I definitely would be willing to enter again. And I might even add on. It just depends. But I definitely wouldn't be afraid to enter there for some reason, because it's just a lower high and another bearish bar. And look at it go. And you're looking for that measured move, which would have put you right down in here. And it backs up. And look at all those matching highs there. And you get that little failed break higher, and it turns down right off the EMA. And even more important than that is we weren't down to the low yet. So we're probably going to push all the way down and test this low and try to test this other trend channel line here on the other side. So that's a nice move. Then it bounces, and here's your reversal pattern. Notice what happens. You got a new low, then you get a first entry, you push through the EMA, you pull back second entry, it closes right there. The only reason this one is not blue is that we don't have a break of this trend line yet. So it's a little bit iffy going long into that. So that's why it's green. It's still a little aggressive since there's no break, because notice it would have worked, but it didn't go very far, and then it's turning down and trying to go lower again. And then watch what happens. There's no good short set up here, but there is a lower high here, but it's fairly bullish. It's more neutral than anything really than bearish, so you can't go short there. And then notice you bounce again here off that trend line and confirm it, and this is a second entry long. Look at that high, pull back first entry, pull back second entry. So if you're sitting idle again, waiting because you didn't have a very good setup and you're not chasing trades, you might consider going long there. Again, it's green because we don't have a new low in place. Notice we continued to try, and we didn't make one till after the close. But we did end up making a new low, and now it looks like it's trying to bounce. Well, this day's over basically, so it doesn't matter. But that turned out to be not a great trade, but it was an easy scalp, and it fit the rules. I did make it green for the reasons we've already talked about. That's the first break of this trend line, and we don't have a new low in place yet, so it's a little premature to be looking for a reversal. But at the same time, you can't ignore the fact that you got a trend working higher, and you got it confirmed right here, and you got a second entry long with a nice bullish bar. So it's one of those that could go either way. Maybe it may be worth taking a risk on, because we may, since it looks like a range today, we may just keep going higher and head to the other side too. So you got that fact that gives you another reason to think I may want to give up on looking for shorts here, because now I got a confirmed trend in the other direction. If this would have been more bullish, I would have liked maybe trying it again right here. But you don't get a bullish bar until the second one, and then it doesn't break above it. You get another bearish bar, and then you got a lot of resistance there. So I didn't like, you can't enter right there that late in the day. So, but yeah, it turned out to be a pretty good day. Not a lot of trades, but if you caught any of these three, you probably would have had a runner and a pretty good move, and it shouldn't, you still had a chance to make some money today. So, yeah, I'm not going to beat around the bush today. I'm going to wrap it up. But once again, I want to dedicate this to Ray today, and my good friend Ray, and he'll be missed. And again, if any of you know him, I know you'll miss him as well. So, but I'm going to wrap it up for today. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.